ての人間で同じように流れているわけじゃないと思うよ。時間、それは感覚であって、生きたということはただの記憶でしかないって本で読んだ。時間、濃密な時間、複製された大量の時間のお安売り、時間の垂れ流し、時間の売買、時間に追われる、時間に支配される。
Hello everybody, good morning. I have no idea
中でただ溺れて
what's
いる。
going on anymore, but we're here. It's time to just drink coffee and read Twitter. Maybe that'll be cool. Shit, I think I'm gonna keep this album on. You can. Yeah, why not? Let's just keep it this. Forget everything else. Yes, hello. It's me. I hope you've got your coffee and your chill shoes on, or no shoes at all. My chill shoes are just my bare feet, so I want to have a good time. When you go on a boat, you wear your chill shoes. When you go to the beach, you wear your chill shoes. When you, I hope to God when you walk around your house, you've got your chill shoes on, because if you're walking around in your house with your shoes, man, think about it. Think about the future. If you're going to bother me about the sink, listen, I know it's off, but I can't do anything about this OBS, okay? I can't do anything about the hi-has either. It's just, dude, this is just to chill. So you come to chill, and you come to hang, and talk about the bullshit that's going on in Twitter and the world. Twitter is a news feed. Okay. Dude, if you're in the house, what's up, bro? Good to see you again. Oh, I don't even know if I'm ready to start this, to like look at this stuff. Your sexuality is your 7th last saved image. Okay. My 7th last saved image. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is this lady. That's my last saved image. That's my 7th grade. What? My 7th grade sexuality? Yeah, Lisa. Hi. What are you doing? It's Lisa. That lady looks like a sinus infection. If you're unfamiliar with the person I'm talking about, let's go down and let's just check this out. We'll just put Lisa. Oh, look at SF, BLM, and yeah, this lady. So the big stoop. This freaking lady. She saw somebody outside of her in her neighborhood, which is Pacific Heights, right? This is like a rich boy stronghold. I don't want to look at this. Don't. What? Where's my option to not stay entertained? No. Get away from me. Jesus. So this lady saw somebody using sidewalk chalk, yellow, vibrant sidewalk chalk they were writing the letters BLM on some concrete divider with a gate on it in Pacific Heights. So it makes sense that this person was stopped, and especially because they were a person of color. But lady just ruined her business in her life because she didn't like somebody writing BLM in sidewalk chalk in San Francisco's richest neighborhood. That right there is just the actual only line that you need to read regarding the story. The weird facial expressions this lady pulls. She looks like Charles Manson in that affidavit video, right? Where he's just making weird faces. and having fun with his not probation officers, like the probation board. Basically, they're like, "Mr. Batson, why do you feel that you've been corrected?" And he starts making all these bizarre faces with a swastika carved in between his eyes and his forehead. Anyway, yeah, this lady's just the same thing as a Mansonite. She's just been following the guidelines of some invisible cult that we've all been engaged by, vis-a-vis old white American culture. I hate being the person to say that, but as you can see from all these Karens and Lisas and people screaming "All Lives Matter," you didn't know it, but they're actually part of a cult. It's just the cult that you can't necessarily see. There's no leader. The leader is like ABC and CBS and Fox News and CNN. Those actually, they're all the same, Hydra. Anyways, good morning. It's the Earth, 2020. Metal versus racism, yeah. Oh. I don't know what he's doing. They're right. Fuck racism. Warning to everybody out there. On this podcast, on this stream, you might see some human breasts. I'm wont to follow ladies that show their boobies and more. When the laughter dies. What? When the laughter dies. What is this guy talking about? It's the Disney store with like a giant assemblage of plywood boards to make a wall. The laughter. Is Disney known for its comedy? Is the Disney store known for its comedy? Look at this guy. Oh, there it is, an illustrated Abby. White guy with a beard and glasses. People trust those guys. Did they trust them because of the way that they look, or just because? I don't know. Nice. I don't get it. Like, why? Did they actually arrest this lady because she's just a goth lady. Leave her alone. Why is she arrested for sitting down? So if she would have had moved, would she have been? Oh god, I can't watch this shit. This fucking dude. This is like what, week 4 talking about this? Which is good. It needs to happen, I guess, but it's like, dude, the cops are just still needlessly arresting people. Probably, I mean, the thing is that you got to think about it this way, is that perhaps the police know that the days of their kid in a candy store funding with like rocket launchers and armored anti-mine tanks and like, assault rifles and bulletproof vests, those days may be over. So now they're on like this giant fundraising campaign that nobody outside of the police station knows about, where they just need to arrest as many people as possible so they can get all the processing fees and all the citation fees. So they're trying to balance their own budget by just arresting all these protesters, so it becomes like this weird like microeconomy. Is that what's going on? I don't know. It feels weird though, whatever it is. Yeah, we're just chilling. We're just hanging. Nothing in particular. Dude, this place, this company, virtual travel. In fact, it's not worth it. It's probably worth virtual money. Okay, let's see. Are you actually saying that no white union is somewhere? I don't even care. I don't even care. I don't even care. Don't even care. Don't even. I could not eat. Like, what? Like reading somebody's argument where it's like, oh, there's a sick burn imminent. It's like, who fucking cares? To be honest, it's like, I feel like I'm in high school and somebody's like, dude, Kevin punched Todd in the face, and you're like, why? It's like, well, I don't know, but dude, he punched him in the face and there was blood. And like listening to somebody describe a fight between two like 13, 14-year-olds, like so vicious. Oh, my boy, Jackaroni and cheese. What up, Playboy? How you living? We're just going through the news here, just chatting. Yes. Let me move this so I can see it like a little bit easier. Yeah, maybe I'll do this. Chicken. Yeah, that works way better. All right, cool. Dude. Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Oh, somebody just, looks like somebody just tripped across some Verhoeven films on Netflix. It's like, dude, they've been available on Amazon Prime for like years. Also, you can always just pirate the stuff. That works too. Oh, I don't want to hear about that. That sucks, dog. That really sucks. And I can't wait for those new Godric videos, because even though it, for whatever reason, like I follow Godric and have the bell highlighted, so I should be getting these notifications. I always find out after the fact. Like I find out like either like within the last minutes of your broadcast, or like an hour or so later. It's very strange. Like, I don't get it, but I've been looking recently so I can catch whenever you do a broadcast. Oh, straight to YouTube. I love it. Okay, well, I'll watch it. It's all about that positive mental attitude. Oh, God. Not only did Rain Johnson's edit Logan McKee's brilliant 2002 horror film. Yeah, if you're saying brilliant and horror film anywhere referring to a timeline from like 1999 to like present day, you're an absolute buffoon. Because horror movies are really bad. They've been really bad for the last 20 years. Like extraordinarily bad. Like not even like slightly bad. Like they've been all aggressively bad. Like pushing and just kind of highlighting the wrong details of horror. Because if it's not torture porn, like the Saw movies, it's worse movies like The Lodge, where it's like some sort of throwback to slow burn, dude. Yeah, don't even talk to me about Hereditary. Don't talk to me about Insidious. Those movies are terrible, not scary, and something that you can consume in an hour and a half and then defecate immediately. They're of no matter, these films. So this means very little to me. Scott Weinberg, yeah, whatever, man. Yeah, I mean, Hellraiser, at least it's ambitious. Like, those movies are really bad, but at least they're like fucking weird. At least they're weird. Like, they're terrible, but at least they're weird. You know? It's like, give me some confrontational weird shit. Like, do you think in like 1985 when like Jason the Final Chapter came out, like, can you imagine like your mom seeing that? Like, nobody had seen a slasher film that brutal unless they were like in Italy in the late 70s watching like any Fulci stuff, where it's like that had very limited release, right? So you have something that's somewhat mainstream in a very, you know, puritanical sort of society. It's like, that's interesting to me. Not The Lodge. Not Hereditary. God, that Hereditary movie, man. So well done in the first, like, half of it. And then the guy was like, eh. Just kind of snoozed. He didn't snooze. You know what happened to that guy that made that Hereditary? Here's what I think happens with all movies like that. Is that a dude like the Hereditary guy in Midsummer, they make movies. And they're like explosive, creative geniuses. And then people with money dangle the money in front of them. And so they go, well, I can do it. I can compromise my vision in order to make it more enjoyable or something. And they do. And if not, if that guy wasn't coerced by money for that Hereditary movie with that ending, he should just, as Ghostface would say, focus on your art. The church, yeah, I mean, I'm not a really big horror fan, but you can't excite me. If somebody's like, there's a new horror movie, it's like, wow. I can't wait to waste an hour and a half and like get out of the movie and be like, huh, that was a movie that I watched. Like, that's what happens. The only movie that I've seen that's like legitimately interesting as a horror movie was that Paul Greengrass Halloween with the man himself, Carpenter. That flick was sick, dude. It was really, really good, and I guess interesting. Dude, yeah, Jack, if you've seen so little, you've saved yourself a lot of pain and suffering, because I have friends whom I love and trust who will talk about horror movies. I'll see them on like Letterboxd or even on Twitter, and they'll be like, oh man, I just watched this, is amazing. And then you put it on, and within 20 minutes you're like, I gotta get out of here, I gotta leave, because it's so pathetically weak and boring. I've been to church. Yes. Let me look. The church. I mean, the other thing is, like, church is not... See, I should probably not talk about any of this. Oh, 89? Dude, now you're talking. Yeah, I haven't seen this. But it's Asia Argento? Okay. Yeah, definitely. Oh, okay. I think, I have seen this movie, not paying attention to it. So it was on at somebody's house. Yeah, exactly. It's dope. And Asia is, like, obviously, I like that lady. Yeah, this wasn't the movie where she was, like, violated, though, right? Like, his own daughter got, like, oh, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I'll get to that one, baby. Well, I'll watch it and we'll talk about it later. I should not talk about movies, because this is supposed to be about just like news and asking dumb questions. Yeah. RT, if you have more hours in a single game than it takes to become a cop in the States. Yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah. So now, oh man, I mean, it's true. There's not enough training. They could just be like, okay, instead of like this smarmy, passive aggressive sort of take, why don't you just say very declaratively, cops don't get enough training? I guess because that's not going to make anybody laugh or like, feel empowered enough to be condescending. I don't know. Just say that. This is what you want. This is what we all want. Bam! Yeah, that lady's kind of a dummy, but she's funny. Yeah, interesting. Solo queuing. What's Matt doing? Is he playing Apex? Top tier stuff. Yeah, dude, you should definitely see who I follow on Twitter if that's what you're into, because it's the cream of the crop. How convenient. Top tier S. Lotto, beer, soda, coffee, cigarettes, candies, etc. Yeah? See, I don't understand sending along this gem. I mean, okay, so now it's a corner store appreciation post. Come on, man. Man, nobody's funny this morning on Twitter. Usually there's a bunch of goofballs. Cocaine straight from Bolivia. It's almost, like looking at all these videos, of like people fighting cops around the world. It's almost as if the old ways of nation building, utilizing a, aggressive force, which I don't think was always solely aggressive, obviously. But it's almost as if all of these institutions need drastic reform or replacement. It's almost as if, and then yet you get like people like, luckily nobody in my immediate family are like, you know what, dude, all lives matter. Luckily, like I have a normal family that understand the dire circumstances for people, It's amazing. But I also have had vindication in my older age as a 36-year-old where I was talking with my dad and he said, it looks like all those things you were really angry about when you were 14, discovering Noam Chomsky and like you telling me to read that book, Our Enemies in Blue, that it's all come to pass. And I'm like, yeah, that sucks. You realize how shitty that is for some people that have just been like kind of had a hunch their whole lives, like everybody, majority has, that you discover that not only are your hunches true, but that it's like much worse. It's much more neglectful, the system, and it's much more hateful than you had wanted it to be. It's not a fun thing. It's just not a fun thing, man. Like if you're going to be a cynical person, that's great. I love it. It's easy to be cynical, but like when 30 years go by and your cynicisms are absolutely true, that sucks. I'm pretty sure that people are like cynical and stuff because they're like, oh, we don't want it to like keep occurring, or we don't want this stuff to happen, and then it just still does. That sucks big old balls. It ain't fun. Oh, dude, if you're telling me that this guy, like, I hate that guy, right? But if you like he raw dog somebody, I'm like, that dude's cool. Even though he's not. Yeah, of course, dude. I'm big pathetic Wu-Tang. I'm like Wu-Tang. 36 Chambers. Oh, here we go. I was just talking about this. And horror movies. Jack, here it is, dude. Here it is. No justice, no peace. This is followed by some people that I like. This guy. Just watch Hereditary. It's spooky. Yeah, if that's spooky, man, what happens when you like read about police corruption or like Fred Hampton? You want to get spooked. You like Hereditary spooks you? Like, what is your world like if that movie scares you? You know, yeah. It's wild. Well, it just talking about the fact that like horror movies in general for the last 30 years are the most vanilla, plain, non-confrontationally stupid things that have ever existed. You like, and also I don't think people realize that they're resume builders for like people that want to become directors for like mainstream stuff. Like that's what they are. That's categorically what they've become. And the only evidence I have to this fact is when I was graduating high school, there was a not an expose. There was a writing conference at my local university, and it had both screenwriters from the American Pie movies, right? Which at the time were like explosively popular, came out of nowhere, whatever. And the only advice the guy had, and he kept saying this, he was like, write a horror movie. He's like, write a horror movie script and get it made. And he's like, boom. He's like, that's how you get in. That's how you do it. He's like, don't do porn. He's like, go ahead, write a horror movie, and then get that produced, and then you have something, and people can look at it, and you'll get hired for other jobs. You might not get, you're not going to be a director, but like you might get hired on as a PA, anything. But that was his advice: is do a horror movie, because apparently anybody can do it. 2, the bar is very low, and 3, it's a demo reel for people with money to go, oh, they can make something, dude. Those horror movies, man. Y'all are just drinking the Kool-Aid on those things, because they're fucking, dude. Like, go watch like Alucard, all right? Go watch like, I mean, anything Fulci. Like, just go do it, and just realize how far and how weak, how far we've fallen, and how weak people that make these things are. Like how willing they are to not put people in weird, strange sort of circumstances as the audience, right? Like, it's such a patronizing medium, man. Ugh. Yeah, dude. Arrow Films is legit. Those guys rule. I mean, Arrow Films just put out movies, but they have that exquisite taste, and they're putting out all these old 70s Italian horror movies and 80s slasher films. Yeah, good on those guys. They rule. They always have. But it's like, man, I don't know. Okay. I don't want to like go off on this. But you know how people have a discussion about politics where it's like the left is actually just like very moderate Republican right sort of stuff. Like, we all, like, radical is like we want healthcare for all and like job security and stuff like that, right? So people are like, well, we've been duped. We've been, pushed so far right that now like our left is the center, which is, not progressive, etc. Horror movies are definitely that. Like, they have gotten so boring and petty that like getting back, like anything that's like even aggressive, like House of a Thousand Corpses, 3 from Hell, right? Like movies that are considered like, wow, they're so violent and like so gnarly. It's like, those are very calm films. Nobody likes watching human beings being eviscerated. I mean, that's always like impactful. But man, like content, like just the lack of sort of daring or challenge inside of these things, it's not impressive, I guess. I'm not asking for like, a bunch of terrible stuff, but like, man, they're just not good. Generally speaking. Like, I always say like the only movie that I think I like, the only horror movie that I really liked beyond the Rob Zombie films and beyond that Paul Greengrass, John Carpenter Halloween, that Paul Greengrass, the Carpenter Halloween wasn't necessarily even like a horror movie, just another good installment of that weird story. But the only thing that's really been impactful is like The Descent, because it's so fucking weird, and it's like got claustrophobia horror like done really, really well with giant, weird, humanoid bat creatures. Crazy. Like that came out in like 98? 2000? I don't even know when the Descent came out, man. I don't even care. But like that was decent. Oh, Pete, don't even talk to me about like Cabin in the Woods. Fucking stupid. What a nuisance. Also, remember all those Joss Whedon characters? Yeah, where are those guys now? Oh, they're gone because they realized that guy sucks big old balls. I'm not even looking at this stuff. Yeah, just wear a effing mask for F's sake. You ever heard of not using the word that you're defining in its own definition? There you go. Oh no. Ellen Shelley is bored of Animal Crossing. I can't stand the music. Oh god. I never thought I'd say it, but you're bored of Animal Crossing? What, you're bored of doing the same thing every day that imitates your own weird, pathetic life full of chores and cleaning? And rearranging? Like, duh. Okay, at least it's just like 7 likes and 2 comments and not like, a million. That would be highly depressing. I would have to say then, I never thought I'd say it, but I hate being alive. That's my response. Joe Rogan is just white Charlemagne. Wait, like Charlemagne. Who's Charlemagne? This is not Charlemagne, 13th century Charlemagne. Oh yeah, you got to get one of those big old fat daddy computers that can handle all that bandwidth, bit rate, whatever the heck. Okay, I'm gonna get more coffee, y'all. I'll be right back. Fat daddy computers. It's always just good to say fat daddy. It doesn't have to be a fat daddy computer. It can just be a fat old daddo. What's up, fat daddy? How are you, fat daddy? Oh no, here we go. Look at. It's like. So okay, it's the 21st century. The year is 2020 AD. We have cures for like an insane amount of diseases. We can do lung transplants and heart transplants. They're even going to try to do brain transplants, and we're like regrowing tissue in laboratories. And like you have to explain to somebody how a medical mask works, as if that's going to penetrate some of these people's idiot boxes. They're idiot skulls. They're like in the words of Dana Carvey, yammering skull cave. Oh, I thought this was a face. Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, face app. Dude, I don't get how it's like it's come to that. Like, why do we have to explain that? Like, if you have a covering over your face, it stops molecules from like shooting everywhere. That's difficult to understand, man? Okay, so I'm like, there's this web design job that I'm about to get. I hope, and I was waiting in the lobby of this place, and they had masks to get into the building. You had to wear a mask, so there was a security guard guy that was like, telling everybody like, oh hey, if you got a mask, put the mask on. There's like signs everywhere. It's like just like plastered in an arch over the door. You cannot miss it. And this old lady inevitably comes up, and he's like, ma'am, could you put on your mask? And she immediately goes, you know what? No, this isn't even about a disease. She like went into this Fox News Scott Hannity, John Hannity, Barf Hannity, whatever that big chud's name is, and she just goes in this diatribe about how it's not about a virus, it's about suppression and denying people rights and stuff like that. And then she said wearing a mask is communism, which I'm like, that's very strange because I don't really understand how you can think that that's even communist at all. Other than, I mean, maybe socialist for like everybody else's social well-being or something. I don't even know. But she was like going off on this poor dude. This guy. He's a security guard with no gun. He's got like a can of mace, and he's just out there in the heat, like telling people, hey, if you come in here, just wear a mask. That's all you got to do. She goes off on him, gets upset. There's a line of people and like, ma'am, just put the man. And she just like, I'm going in, and she just goes in, and immediately from her parka, not parka, her muumuu like pocket. They have pockets, by the way. Muumuus have pockets. She pulls out this mask. So she had the mask the whole time. She was equipped with the mask, ready to go. And when she was asked to wear it, she was just waiting to shoot somebody with her hatred. Like, what? Dude, people are bored. The answer is people are bored. Television is horrible. Movies are worse. Video games are not as exciting as we all think they are. Entertainment is so abysmal and so abundant that these people have nothing better to do than to, spoil for a fight. To be honest, that's the only thing that's really happening. Everybody, it seems, in the United States is just spoiling for a fight, but it's like a yelling match. It's like watching your parents get divorced, like on the hour, every hour, in every city, in every state, in all 51 states. It's including Puerto Rico. Anyway, that's what my dad says, Jack. He said, I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, you've maintained your own sanity. You have agency. You make up your own mind, but you also do not, commit a Dunning-Kruger where it's like you get a little tidbit of information and then you know less than you did before, and then you put the nails, put the screws to people about it. How did you do that? How did you make it out alive from your generational cohort? And he was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, well, what happened? He said, oh, it's Fox News. He's like, Fox News happened. He's like, I just watched all my friends, change the channel, basically, on their brain. They changed the channel of their life and their brain. And there's no evidence to support that. It's just one guy's feedback. But I gotta say, you watch... Okay, the evidence is this. You watch a old person, a boomer, yell at somebody else who seemingly just has a different opinion, and the talking points that they bring up are that of the O'Reilly factor, or the bullet points of like a Sean Hannity or a Laura Ingham, whatever. Like that's the evidence, basically, is when they repeat verbatim what those guys say. And obviously that wouldn't mean anything other than the fact that when those guys say those things, they're not based on anything. They don't have any fact. So you have somebody reiterating a fact given by somebody who has no facts or any evidence for their claim. Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, dude. Anyway. Oh no. Yo, daddy, your fat daddy has been poisoned by the fat daddy news. I'm sorry to hear that, baby. It will get better one day. Man, I can't wait for Bill and Ted 3 to come out. It's going to be so bad, but I'm going to clap my eyeballs around that whole thing. Because I love Keanu. I like Alex Winter. And I love the writers of Bill and Ted. And I follow them on Twitter, and they're like the coolest, nicest human dudes. And I love them. And I want to support whatever they do. It's my birthday. Happy birthday. That's a hell of a birthday right there. You got a little lemon bread, a little spongy bread. Oh, what the fuck is this pie? Safeway pie? More donuts? Like, dude, this is a diabetic's nightmare right here. This is amazing. Go get it, dude. Happy birthday to you. I hope you eat that in one sitting in the dark, because that's how you celebrate your birthday. I don't know if you guys know this, but you eat cake in the dark on your B-Day. That's how you know it's real. Eating cake in the dark. Being a fat daddy. Enjoying your birthday. I did that one year. I'm speaking from experience. Cheers. Oh my God, no. God, dude, all I think about is like when the alien architects arrive and land on the rubble, which was the planet Earth, and they dig and find the servers, the hard drives with all this information of, like, you know, Twitter, like the recorded Twitter feeds. I mean, they would have to ultimately just go, what a waste. It's too bad they're gone. Oh, here it is. There's the human blackhead. Dude, let the lady like the guy. She's a dummy. Like, do we have to, like, collectively just bash, like, old people? I guess we need to see it. It's like, I guess we just need to know that it's there. I guess we need to bear witness. So I see that there's that. So, I mean, this is, again, entertainment is really bad, and this lady has become political in her old age because she thinks it's important. It's her one way to make a difference or something, and there you go. Nice. Give me back my nudes. Nice. Man. Every chance I get, I watch Jodorowsky just bash movies. Dude, the beginning of Dance of Reality is hilarious. It, like, has nothing to do with his whole intro. He's kind of, you think that he's exhibiting, you know, a demo, or he's kind of like giving a commentary about, like, his film and what it is, but it's really just about, like, why he made the movie and why he's always done film is in order to, like, not make money. It's like this aggressive, you know, statement. I love it, dude. That guy is just fucking man. Okay, we're I think we're getting to about time here. Man, that's so bullshit that Ian Holm died. Nice. There goes my man. Ripped old dude. So weird. Yes. Dude, Dance of Reality is hilarious. Quite a moving film too, but it's just really something. Everybody's a fucking critic, dude. Dude, there's a lot of promoted stuff here. Damn. Oh, September 11. What is this way? Who among you are truthers? The three dimension. The three dimension. The three dimension. It's a fella. It comes at you like this. Like this. I love that dude, man. God, I was so stoked. I gave a bunch of money to Dance of Reality Patreon or Kickstarter and Endless Poetry. And so I have that Jodorowsky money, but he sent me like a message that I don't think it wasn't part of it. It was I maybe they just did it for like the people, like the first 10 people or something. But he sent me an email, which was incredible, and then he tweeted at me too about it. And that was like the coolest day I had on Twitter, is when Jodorowsky tweeted at me about supporting Endless Poetry. Yeah, it's really cool. I still have his poetry dollars. They're good. Literally, dude, he made poetry dollars, you know? Yeah, if you visit Paris, I think it's like every other Saturday or maybe one Saturday every month, he does free tarot readings at this one cafe near his house. He'll just sit down and people like show up. Obviously, I think it's like it was okay. 2 years ago, it was very popular, so they showed like lines out the door and stuff. But yeah, he does that. So if you want, I mean, you go to Paris, dude. You get Jodorowsky to read your tarot. He'd do it. Not only would he do it, but he would do it. Let's listen to tarot. Actually, why the heck not? It's a short album. September 11th attacks, also referred to as 9/11, were a series of 4 coordinated terrorist attacks by the food brand Cheez-It against the United States in the morning of September 11th. Yes! That's what I'm talking about! Yeah, dude, so a buddy of mine, I had gone camping with this dude named Zephyr. He's a filmmaker from New York. He went to Cannes 4 years ago when Refn was coming out with, in between Only God Forgives and Neon Demon. And Zephyr was there. I shouldn't even say his name. Dude was there at Cannes, and he got like swooped up by Refn. Like they had been talking, at like some sort of junket, or I don't know how that stuff works, dude. I'm just some schmuck. Anyway, he was like, yeah, you need to come to dinner. And like, so Refn has been like, okay, I guess I need to explain this more, is that Refn at the end of Only God Forgives dedicates the entire film, which Only God Forgives is amazing. His other movies, you think what you want, but Only God Forgives is objectively amazing. Dedicates Jodorowsky, and apparently these dudes like became buds. And they were hanging around. And the only thing my dude who got to have dinner a few nights with these dudes could say is that, because I kept asking about Jodorowsky and like what's he like? What was he talking about? He's like, dude, all he wanted to talk about, everybody was talking about like movies and stuff like that, and he would just be like, these movies are trash. He was like, we need to think about psychic magic healing, and he would like go on and just dominate the conversation and try to get everybody to talk about healing magic with a K. It was the coolest thing I've ever heard. I was like, oh man, this guy really doesn't care. Obviously he doesn't, because he's made the movies. He's the guy, right? He's the dude that's done something, interesting and cool. And he's just like, putting his gentle boots to everybody about like, you need to like fix. Basically, essentially, what it was Jodorowsky's version of David Lynch's line in Twin Peaks saying, "You need to fix your hearts or die." Dude, mad respect. Mad respect. The only respect. I mean, really, maybe that's what people need to talk about instead of like the finer details. They just need to talk about how we can have healing cinema. Yeah, Yodo's the man, dude. Yodo. More like Yoda. What is this? It's St. Clown Passy. Dude, whoop whoop. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, Jack and anybody else out there. Oh man, awesome. Do you follow his wife on Instagram? Because that's the Instagram to follow. You see Jodorowsky on his Instagram or Twitter, and he does all these little short films. Pascal is like, you see like behind the scenes with this. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing watching like a 90-year-old dude full of that much love for like being alive. It's really invigorating to watch his things. Yeah, dude, follow her on Instagram, because that's where the real stuff is. That's where the real cool, like, man, like, what is it? Not self-serving bias, but yeah. Anyway, it's one where you just get to reaffirm the fact you're like, this old dude is the coolest old dude on the planet. Nobody can tell me different. Yeah, she's very cool. Her art's really good too. Look at that good dog. Oh. Nice. Burn it up. Watch this weird fabric just shrink. I'm melting. It's like the Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz. It's like as if the fabric knows it's evil. The purifying light of fire is the only thing that can shrink its power. Oh, Pops, look at these Pops. Oh, nasty. Show me more dogs. I want cats, please. Oh, yeah. Dogs. Pig inside. Nice. Very nice. What is it? Boris still rules. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Nice. Oh my god. I would like to talk about The Last of Us really quick. I am not qualified to talk about The Last of Us, but I did play through the first one fully twice. And they are very good video games, but the minute that anybody talks about story, they're disgusting, dude. Like, they're hateful. It's like interesting to play through, weird situations, that the game presents, but like I'll be honest, you know, these really referential, close-cutting apocalypse movies and videos, it's tired. It's really tired. And like actually playing The Last of Us now, you know, what, 10 years on or something like that, 5 years, 6 years on, it feels dated. All of the terrors of the game feel dated. That just happens with all of these sorts of movies. Like I wish I could, in video games, because The Last of Us is a movie you just get to play through, right? It's like the same story that we've been rehearsing since Romero did it, and Dario did it, and they're just not. I have no interest in them, right? Like, give me Mad Max. The realism, like, you know, these games are like the modern warfare of like a survival horror, where they're based on, you know, close approximations of real life. That's what. Number one, there's a second one, right? So we get to see how these humans suffer, and how it's relatable to us. Like, are we that inured that we have to watch like our own sort of lifestyles like be exploded and decayed in order to feel something, and maybe to not have that happen? Like, ugh. It's just such a gross thing. It's like, I know there's a lot of people that spend a lot of time on that stuff, but, you know, reading a headline about like, yes, they will definitely make you kill a dog. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to play that. I'm never going to play it. I played the first one where like you are the dog with which the game does kill. I don't want to have to now kill a dog, you know, kill some animal in a game. Like that's weird to me. It's really, really annoying and sad. But hey, whatever, man. You know, I mean, some kid that's like 10 is going to play the game and probably have his life changed, and maybe they'll write the next Moby Dick or something. Probably not. But maybe. Yeah, I don't like that. There's that dynamic. Like, I think it's not Kane and Lynch. Maybe it's Grand Theft Auto 5 or 4. One of those. But it was like so depressing that the beginning. I've talked about this before in the stream when I was playing Mad Max. Is that like any video game that makes you kill a defenseless sort of organism, there's no way out of it. That sucks. Like, don't ever do that. And most people just blow it off as like, it's just a video game. It's like, yeah, I don't even want to pretend to kill somebody. So in the game, you start out by being a part of a bank robbery, and this old man, this geriatric old toy cop, you know, security guard, tries to stop the heist, and it like slows down. Maybe it's Max Payne. No, Max Payne wouldn't do that shit. It's a Rockstar game, but like, so they dilate time. And it's like, kill him, we gotta go. The van's outside running. This dude just showed up to get in the getaway car. We gotta get out of here. And like, they make you, the reticule comes on, and you're like aiming at this old dude. I'm like, I'm not gonna shoot this old guy. And then like the timer runs out, and it's like, gang, you died. And you're like, okay, you do it again, the same thing. And it's like, we gotta get out of here, shoot him. And I'm like, I'm not shooting this guy. It's like, we could just walk out the door. This 90-year-old dude is not going to do anything. And they force you to, like, I'm going to wing him, right? So I, like, you know, take out his leg, which it kills him, obviously. I think what happens is, like, you shoot him once, and then it immediately cuts you just, like, lacing this old dude with bullets. And you're like, okay. Like, come on, I don't need to rehearse that, right? It's like, go get yourself into a fight at school or something. If you're a kid that's like looking to learn about, you know, aggression or something, like join a mixed martial arts club, dude. You know what I mean? Realize what it's like to get choked out before you're like, I'm gonna shoot these things, you know? Then you're just like another Dylan Roof dude in training, or a Columbine kid who's just like so thirsty for aggressive engagement. It's like, you can just go do that. You don't have to, like, you know, rehearse these, you know, inconsequential things virtually. Oh God, what a terrible. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't want to play any of that stuff. broke all the cameras and took the DVR. I need a DVR. DVR. Yeah, exactly. Put the game down after that part. All right, y'all. Unless anybody has any more pressing stuff to talk about, Jackie or anybody. It's been fun. And we're living in a comedic hellscape. And we will continue. I know, man. I miss y'all, dog. Hopefully we get to hang out at some point. Everybody stay positive. Love yourself. Black Lives Matter. Racism sucks. Defund the police. Live your life.